Okay, so I just got my YourStory machine today, and I decided that I want to play around with trying to make my own covers for my YourStory, so I don't have to buy the not expensive covers, but the covers that you have to pay for, I guess, that are thick. They're great for good projects, but I just want to make some cute little projects, so I just wanted to try making some out of some cardstock. So I'm going to do a 5x5 little book. So what I'm going to do is take my 12x12 cardstock, and I'm going to cut it 5 inches long. And I'm using my new YourStory paper cutter, which I love so far. It cuts really nicely. So I did 5 inches, and I'm just going to cut an inch off so it's 5x11. Okay, so I'm using my Creative Memories cutter because it has a score blade. I was mistaken. The YourStory, I think it's a replacement blade, so there's 2 sharp blades. So I have my 11x5 piece of paper, and this is from Stampin' Up. I don't think they sell this one anymore, but it was part of a Christmas one, and it's kind of fuzzy, so it's really cute. Okay, so we're gonna score at 5 1/8, and then 5 1/4. And then 5 5/8, and 5 3/4. Okay, so you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see, but I have my score marks in here, so I'm good to go. So I'm going to actually just fold on my score marks. And I should have scored them the other way. Okay, so there you have it. I have my my book so far all ready to go, and it will be I guess it won't be 5x5. It'll be 5 by 5 and about 1/4. So it'll be a little bit long, but I can always trim that off if I want. But I'll probably make I'll make the papers that go in 5x5, and then there will be a 1/4 inch overhang, which will be nice for the cover. So next I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and I'm going to put some glue in the center. So we're going to let that dry about 5 minutes until it hardens. So next I'm going to get some paper that I'm going to cut, and I'm going to cut it to go in the center of my book. Okay, so I just finished cutting the last of my 5x5 sheets here. So I have about 20 5x5 sheets of cardstock, and my glue is dry. Okay, so I'm just going to take some Stampin' Up! Ribbon here, and I want to make it so I can tie this closed here. So I'm just going to make sure I have a long enough piece. So I can tie it around. And I'm just going to, I don't have an ATG gun, that's on my wish list. So I'm just going to use some sticky strip instead. It's probably just as good a little bit more expensive. And I'm just gonna stick it down. Okay, so there we go. I have that all done. And then I'm gonna put some decorations on the front here. So I'm gonna get my cardstock ready, and you want to make sure you tap it. Make sure it's even, especially now that I don't have an overhang. I want to make sure that it's even in the middle of my book. Okay, so I have it all ready to go. So I'm just waiting for my machine to warm up, and then I will bind my first homemade book. Okay, so I cut a 3x3 square that I'm going to put onto my book. So I'm just going to take some double-sided tape. And I'm just going to let my machine beep down. I'm just going to find the center here. Stick that down and stick it in my machine. Press bind, and then wait for it to be done. Okay, so it's done, so we'll just take it out and we'll put it in the little cooling rack over here. Okay, so while we're waiting for the book to cool, I found a little design that looks similar to the paper that we're using, and it's from Stamping Up, and it's called Friends 24/7. So I'm going to do a little bit of heat embossing. So I'm just going to take my Versamark and ink my stamp. Sometimes I like to do it upside down just to, rather than pushing it on it, to see what's inked. And then I'm just going to stamp it on my cardstock. I'm going to take my YourStory cutter and just cut it down. And I'm just actually going to take my Versamark and just go along the edges and rub, just to kind of give it a little bit of an antique, distressed, watermark, whatever you want to call it, edge. So you can see that the edges are a little darker there. So I'm going to take my book and I'm going to adhere my little design, and I think I'll use some pop dots. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it up. Fold it in half and start at the bottom and go towards the end of the ribbon to give it a pointed or inverted point ribbon finish. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this video.